Hello and welcome to this Fibro section. Now I'm sorry, but we don't have the trusted notepad today, so I can't do the jingle for that one because I typed it all up on my phone. First time ever, actually, but I was out at the time. So this week we're going to be talking about going out with a chronic illness. So going out anywhere, it applies to all of it, but I've broken it down into 3 sections just to give examples, if that makes sense. So I wanted to make a fibro section about going out, as so many people say to me that they don't, or they can't go out, or they're too anxious, or they're worried about the pain, all of which I totally get and absolutely understand. And it can be so daunting to go out, especially alone. As with me, I never know if my ankle and feet are going to go in pain, give way in pain, and this has happened to me before, which when I was on my own, and I will talk about that in a while. So let us go through each issue at a time that I've given examples for, and any solutions that I have come across that might help you. So the first one we're going to look at is going to the theatre or the cinema. Those of you that watch my weeklies will probably have seen that lately I've had quite a few theatre trips, and I've been to the cinema quite recently with my mum and dad as well. So these are the tips I've picked up along the way. Book tickets in advance so you can choose the end of an aisle seat, allowing you more room for your legs and to move around. And I will also say, if you're going to the cinema, try and choose a level a bit lower down. But when I went last to the cinema with my mum and dad, I chose the very bottom so that mum didn't have to do any of the stairs, because sometimes in our cinema, if the stairs are going up in the middle of the cinema, there's no handrails. If they go up at the edge, there are handrails. So check on your plan when you're booking it to see, because we had to move because the first row we were like that in the cinema, and it was just like, we cannot watch it like this, it'll blow our minds. So we asked to move, and the cinema was virtually empty anyway, so it's fine. But check before you book and while you're booking where the seats are, and take into consideration steps, handrails, things like that. But definitely in the theatre, I always choose the stalls so you don't have to do steps, and I always choose an end of aisle seat, even if it means my view might be a bit restricted. It's just so then I can get my legs out and stretch if I need to. Saying about the stalls though, do check, because some theatres, like one I went to with Donna, it still had steps even to the stalls, so I ended up having to go in the lift, but there was a lift. So check before you book it that there's these things available to you. Seats can be very uncomfortable for us spoonies. I get very uncomfortable very easily. So maybe take a soft cushion with you in a bag that you can sit on, as long as it's not going to make you much taller that the person behind you is not going to see, because they won't thank you for that. But try and take things that are going to make you comfortable. I try to sit on my coat usually, or my cardigan, something like that. It isn't comfortable for any amount of time, so you have to sort of put up with it to an extent, but there are ways and means which you can help that. Take all your pain meds with you, including your herbal. I take my mini herbal spray with me everywhere, as I often need it. And when I say my mini herbal spray, I'm talking about this one. Hang on, let me just... There we go. Can you see that? So it's from Weleda, and it's muscle pain relief spray. Now this I find brilliant, and I take it everywhere I go. It's, you spray it sort of in your mouth twice. How many times can you do it? Apply 1 to 2 sprays into the mouth up to 3 times a day. Do not swallow. So once you've sprayed it in your mouth, don't swallow for a bit, because the spray is working on your biggest muscle, which is your tongue, to help with the pain. But I bought this a while ago and I don't go anywhere without this now. And for certain situations like going to the theatre, cinema, anywhere like that, I use the spray. Like I say, it's never going to take the pain away completely, but it just eases it. But make sure you've got your pain medication as well. And I would say take some before you go out as well, just to cover yourself. Use your walking aids to get to the venue. Check where the disabled toilets are to make sure they are accessible to you. Check the length of the performance to make sure it is manageable for you to do. It's not like 4 hours long or something like that. Also, if you are going somewhere a bit further away, like when I went to London, obviously going on the underground and things like that is going to be difficult. So I tend to budget in for taxis, and that can be expensive, but you can do Uber, which is a bit cheaper. But taxis are generally better because they just drop you right outside the door, so there's no walking involved. Book a few days of rest afterwards in case you need them, because you may well need to recover. I often do. If I've been out anywhere, I often need to recover afterwards. Take a bottle of water with you and maybe a snack if you need it. So in other words, just be prepared. And I don't know about you, but my medication makes me so thirsty, so I take water with me wherever I go. Make sure your phone is charged in case you need to phone a taxi or someone to help you. If loud noises affect you, try the earplugs that Poppy uses. I shall go and get them. I forgot that I wrote that. 2 secs. Right, I've got them. I thought I couldn't find them for a minute. I was like, where are they? So these are by Flair, which it says on there. I'll try and find them and link them for you. They need cleaning, actually. I'm going to do that in a minute. So they're these little earplugs that go in your ear. This bit sticks out of your ear and they're hollow inside, and what they do is they block out like background noise, so they don't, you can still hear, you can still enjoy everything, but they just make it more bearable. So Poppy, they come in this little pouch as well. Poppy wears these on if she has to go on the underground because she can't stand the noise. She is going to take them, I think, because when she goes on nights out with her friends at uni, she also can't deal with the loud music and everything, so she's going to take these with her. But they weren't very expensive. I think they're about £20, but they have helped her. So if you struggle with loud noises, maybe invest in some of these, and I'll link them in the description if I can find them for you. I'm sure I'll be able to. If flashing lights affect you, try to find out if the show contains them before you go, or attend an autism friendly showing. Some theatres and cinemas do, which will be quieter with less stimulation. If you fancied a drink in the interval, you can usually pre-order these before the show, so it's less stress trying to get there to get one and stand in a queue and everything. They'll already be ready for you. Definitely get up and move in the intervals. Not obviously in the cinema you don't get an interval, but in a theatre show you get an interval. And I have to move. What I find is, like, as soon as they say, right, here's the interval, and I try and stand up and I brace myself because I know the pain that goes through my bum and my hips and my back and everywhere is just going to hit me. But you just know it's coming. So, and once I've moved around a bit, that's gone. So, you know, definitely get up and move. And if you are finding it painful to sit for a long time, try and use the disabled toilet and do just some basic stretches. Like, I've done a video on stretches, but you know what sort of stretches you can do, like, you know, just to stretch your legs out, like stretch down each leg and stretch your arms, stretch your back. Just do some stretches to try and help you. Most of all, enjoy it. I know it's so hard, I know it is hard, but when I have attended 2 shows recently, I was in so much pain and so tired, but was so glad to go out and experience it all. Because yes, You can watch some of these things at home on the telly. Sometimes you can just pay for it, but you're not getting the same experience, are you? And I think sometimes it's nice to push yourself a little bit and say, right, I've been wanting to see that show for so long, I'm going to do it. I know I've got to book days out afterwards to recover. I know that it's going to cause me some pain, but I've got all my things with me to try and make it as easy as possible. And I know I'm going to stretch in the interval. I know I'm going to drink plenty of water. Try to concentrate more on who you are with and the show and what you are watching, because often our endorphins, which will be released, which are our body's natural painkillers. So dress in layers as well, because you never know whether the theatre is going to be too hot, too cold. For example, I went to see The Woman in Black with Holly, and to set the scene and how it was they wanted you to feel, they blew this wind machine out into the audience. So it was really chilly, I was really cold, and when I got home that night I could not warm up. I was laid shivering in bed. But then another night I went out and it was boiling, so I had to strip layers off. So you're just wearing layers is the best thing, because you can add or take off, isn't it? Make sure you wear something soft and snuggly as well, so that it's nice on your skin, you know. And wear comfortable shoes, because if you have got to do any amount, like even a little bit of walking, you don't want to be in pain with it. I know you might want to look nice, but I think comfort is more important, you know, and you can get nice comfortable shoes. Just try to make it as comfortable as possible, because we know we will suffer, that's a given. But if we always turn down opportunities, we won't get to experience all these wonderful shows in a stunning environment. I mean, the theatre's so beautiful. So what have you got to lose? Just try it, you know. And you might think, oh, I really enjoyed that. Yes, I was in pain, yes this, but try not to concentrate on that. Try and concentrate on what you did and how much you enjoyed it. Let's go on going out for the day. So packing a bag is crucial. Pack everything you might need, from pain medication to supports, phone, extra layers, bottle of water, and anything else you might need. So this is my little bag that I take out with me. It goes everywhere with me, and in it I have my spray, my paint. I'm not being sponsored by this, I just love it. So there's that. I also have these. Now these rescue remedy drops are really, really good for anxiety. So if you suffer with anxiety like I do when you're out, just, I think there's up to 5 drops. You can put them either on your tongue or in a drink. I usually put them in a drink, and they just help you to relax. Let's see what's in my bag. What's in your bag? I've got my naproxen tablets. You can see I've had quite a few of those over the time. I've got a pen in case I need to write it down, a hairbrush. I've also, this is quite important for me, I've got Strepsils, the honey and lemon ones. These are like a throat lozenge if you don't have these abroad. But I have to have these because I've got something called rhinitis, which is where you get a nasal drip down the back of your throat. And sometimes it can make me choke and like have a choking fit. And especially if the theatre's dry, then I get like really dry throat. So Strepsils are a must in my bag. I've got some supports, so I've got both of my ankle supports in there because, like I say, my ankles go quite a lot. I've got my hand support. What else have we got? I've got these, right? These are travel wristbands. I don't know if you've seen them before. They have this little ball that goes on your wrist. What you have to do is put 3 fingers on your wrist, and then you put it where the 3rd finger is on that vein. Now these are for travelling, but also like to help stop nausea, But I also use these if I'm suffering from really bad nausea with my fibro and IBS. They are so good, so I'll try and link some for you in the description, because these really do help. And I wore them all when I was pregnant as well and had morning sickness. Little tip, in case you know anyone that's pregnant. I've got Pain Relief Plus tablets, so these are paracetamol plus. I always take those with me. Got more naproxen just in case. Lip balm in case your lips get dry while you're out. Is that it? I've got two. Oh, I had got plasters in there. The other day Mark's needed a plaster for his finger when we were out, but I couldn't find one, but I have got them in there. Oh, and a mirror, just in case you need a mirror for anything. Like for me with my contact lenses, I've got a dodgy contact lens in today and it's been annoying me all day, so I'll probably take that out soon. And that is what is in my rescue bag. Choosing the walking aid which will be right for you, whether it's a walking stick, a rollator like a walker, a wheelchair or a mobility scooter. Plan as much as you can. What will you need? How long will you be? What can you take to make you more comfortable? What will the weather be like? Can you postpone if you need to? Again, plan some rest days afterwards if you need them. So I wanted to talk about when I went out on my own and my ankle and foot gave way in pain. So to give you an example, because it gives me so much anxiety if I go out on my own and I think, what if it goes and I'm stuck because I can't put my foot to the floor. I was in Tesco shopping holding a trolley. I wasn't feeling good that day and I shouldn't have gone out, but I had to. Didn't have a choice. I held onto the trolley and I had to ask a member of staff for a chair to sit down on because my foot went, and like I say, I just can't put it to the floor. And luckily I managed to sit long enough until the pain left, and then I could get up and go to my car, like pay for my shopping and go. But what I should have done was been wearing my sunflower lanyard. I don't know if you have one of those, but they're quite good because they show people if you've got a hidden illness or disability, and then people would have been more aware, but I told them anyway. So if it hadn't improved, I could have asked for one of the shop's wheelchairs or one of their mobility scooters to get me to my car. So there are ways and means of getting about, but it does panic me. Like if I'm not in a shop and that happens and I'm stuck in the middle of the road, I've got a phone. I can phone for help. So there are ways and means, but it does give me a lot of anxiety, that. But it did give me the confidence to know I had faced my worst fear and overcome it. So although it still does hang about in my mind, I know that I can get over it if it happens. And my opinion is life is too short. So I want to still live my best life. I want to go out. I want to experience everything, albeit in pain. And there are obstacles, but there is usually a way around them. So I never, if I get an invitation now, I never say no. I just say, yes, please, but I'm going to have to work out how. Like, for example, when I went to London with Donna recently to see a show, and I said, right, okay, this is where I need to sit in the theatre. What are we going to do about travelling, because I cannot walk far? And yeah, she was very good, and as you could see from, if you watched my weekly, she had to cut my pizza up as well. Yeah, I rarely cancel a date, to be honest, unless I was, the only reason I'd cancel a date is if I was doing a really bad flare up, or I was having an adhesion attack where I am bedbound. I just always hope that the endorphins will kick in and help me out, and my spray and everything. The trouble is, the more we work ourselves up about going out, by the time we have gone out, we're so stressed and anxious, we've got the most pain ever. And we need to allow ourselves some time before we go out to maybe meditate. Don't forget, you've got my meditation videos that I'll try and link for you. Just calm your brain and calm yourself down, because that will help your pain as well. The last section is going to be about going to the hairdressers, because funny enough, I wrote this while I was at the hairdressers. I had a really long hair appointment, I had it all coloured, so I had the red taken out, which was a whole thing, then I had the brunette colour put in, then I had it cut, then I had it styled. My scalp by the end was in pieces. But I really did enjoy it, but sitting down for that long was really hard. So out came my spray. I used that really helped. I used distraction, I listened to a podcast, I wrote this fibro section, I'd already had my anxiety drops. I did everything that I could to help myself. And make sure you tell the hairdresser if you have a sensitive scalp like I do, because they use sensitive products on you. And maybe if you're finding the sitting hard, again, take a cushion with you. Just explain to them. Most hairdressers are very accommodating. And I told my hairdresser straight away, look, I've got a chronic illness, I might have to move a bit around, you know. And she offered, because when she offered me to buy some shampoo that she'd used, I said, I can't get that one because I can't squeeze the bottles. I have to have a push top. So I said, let me try and find some push tops and I'll see if next time I can purchase the shampoo. There's just ways around it, but definitely talk to the hairdresser. You could phone them up and tell them what you're afraid of, that you're afraid of, being in pain, or if they're brushing your hair and it really hurts, what could they do instead? Talk to them. What have you got to lose? I try to really enjoy it. I look at that and getting my nails done as a pampering session. I mean, getting my nails done really hurts my hands when they pull your hands around to take the gel off and it hurts. It does hurt. And I do tell her if it hurts too much, I say to her, oh, that's a bit painful, and she'll be really careful. And funny enough, my nail lady has known me so many years that she says she knows that it's my right hand that's worse, because she finds it really hard to do my nails on my right hand. But she knows because I've told her. Don't ever be afraid to say, because people need to know so that they can accommodate you. But I love going and I love chatting to the girls, and I just see it as a complete outing. And again, you may need some days afterwards to recover, but it's worth it in my opinion. It's living, isn't it? And that's what we need to do. Anyway, I do appreciate that some of you say that you can't go out, and hopefully maybe some of these little tips might help. But if that is the case, then there's lots of things for you to be doing inside. And I would suggest also, if you've got a garden of any description, when the weather gets a bit nicer, to sit outside and take in the outdoors, because it's so lovely outside when the weather's nice, and it's really good for the soul. But anyway, hope this has been helpful to you. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done already for future videos. Leave me a nice comment. If you've got any tips on going out and what you do, then let us know down below. And I will see you all on Saturday for the weekly. Take care. Bye.